Hello there, Scrumptious Cookie. So, considering PulseChain, Hex, and PulseX performance, I have a question that I'd like you to answer for yourself. Community check. Would you participate in another sacrifice phase done by Richard Hart, Ricardo Corazon himself? I want you to think about the Hex, Pulse, and PulseX price performance since their launch. So, there has been a rumored sacrifice from 2 years ago. And why? Well, I figured it out pretty obviously. MetaMask makes like $200 million a year, and it seemed just like something you could fork and do better. All right. Now, I already saw some people who were poo-pooing the idea, even discussing about this, and they said, why would you even talk about a sacrifice phase? It doesn't matter. And let me tell you why. If you want to make it in this game, you prepare today. You prepare now. You don't wait until the big fat green candles come, because you don't have a plan, you don't have a strategy. You will succumb to your emotions. If there is aggressive promotion regarding the wallet sacrifice phase, trust me, you will be affected, you will throw it in, and you're probably going to rethink your strategy again when it plays out. So this is why we do it now. You don't wait until they happen. So I actually did a poll here. Here we go, friends. And as you can see, so would you participate in another sacrifice phase, right, with the same size? So if you put in 5K, would you put in 5K again? If you put in 2K, would you put in 2K again, okay? So I actually have 3 options here. So me, I knew this because we're a baby doll, baby cake, bunch of friends together. So the first option is yes. The second option is yes, but only put in 10% of your size to show support, but actually keep 90% liquid. So this is still a no, but it's like, yeah, I'm going to be waiting. You know, I'm going to wait for the formula to happen, basically. And option 3 is just a flat out no, I'm not even going to throw in 10%. And if you add these up, an overwhelming amount, 2/3 of people are like, yeah, not going to fall for this next time. So that's how everybody is voting right now. Of course, they're voting for it right now because the prices are down. Surprise, surprise. See, this is what happens, friends. In markets, whenever prices go down, we think everything's a scam. All right? But all prices go down. Are houses a scam? Because they might have a price dip eventually. Are stocks all a scam? You can say anything's a scam because you're trying to just measure the perception of value from humans. Okay, so I want you to know that even though, yes, there's a price discrepancy from where we see value, I need you to know that there are some quirks that might come with a MetaMask competitor wallet. And it's not even being talked. There's no information on it. But I'm here to prepare for you this. Why? Because it links in with what we are evaluating now. You see, I am still bullish. I factored all of these in to my forecasts. For example, my very first video for PulseX, which was way before the launch, I was guessing around the 50x return from day one sacrifice. This is my estimation. You can get your own one. You can make it up however you like, but this is just my guess. I factored all of these in. Yes, the launch and the low liquidity and how the formula goes. I made all of it, and I put it in a nice little package for you. So thank you very much for pressing the like button, the subscribe button, the belly button, all. You see this belly button. Thank you very much, friends. I make all this high value content for you just to show you, hey, this is what I'm doing. You don't have to do it. You can do the opposite if you like, all right? So when we're thinking about a wallet sacrifice, why I like thinking about this is I want to think about how PulseX, and Hex have performed since. So here is the formula. So this is the thing we have to grasp now. The market learns, okay? The market learns from what worked last time, and it tries to do it again. This is why euphoria also dampens in a crypto market. And this is also making sense when you think about it. You're like, well, people just do what works last time. And this is why also people get into a bit of hot water, because what worked last time might not work again, as you can see with the different narratives that failed to get popular adoption in 2021. For example, coins like Litecoin and XRP and other coins from previous narratives that could not resurrect to their former glory. Okay, so now, when we're on the topic of Richard Hart here, Ricardo himself, he has a formula. And yes, he does have a formula. He doesn't tell anyone about it, but everybody has figured it out. And if you haven't, I'm going to tell you now, the sharks have. So the insider, deeper whale guys, the people who kind of know the game, they figured it out. And I'm here to protect and look after you. I'm here sharing it with you. I could easily hide this from you. I could keep this to myself and I can play the game like everybody else. But I think you deserve better than that. I respect you for liking, subscribing, for commenting. Thank you very much. We're all here for the friendship and kindness. You are here. You deserve a seat at the table with your fluffy slippers and your straight posture. All right. So I have a little box here. This is the Hex launch. And these dotted lines represent the weighted average zone. So from the people who entered around the adoption amplifier, they got in around here. And I think it's really important. A lot of people thank me for showing them this weighted average because they did not know this was the average entry. Everybody thought, a lot of people, which is very surprising to me, people genuinely thought that for Hex's launch, everybody's entry was at the bottom. They thought everybody got to enter and everybody made a 10,000x. That's what generally a lot of people believed. I know there's a lot of new people here. Welcome. So if you do the top to the bottom, it's about a 10,000x. That was not the average entry, friends. The average entry was literally in this zone. So yeah, the average person went down 90%. Okay, so it depends how early they got into the ICO phase. And of course, it doesn't really matter whether it's the beginning or the end. It doesn't matter. All you know is you go offside. Even if you get a reasonably good price, you still go like 90% offside. You know, it does some damage to your psyche, okay? But what I want to know is, in the first rally, where do we go up to and stop? Because I want to imagine, let's go to Pulse chart here. Now, if you've noticed here, I am now on a weekly chart, okay? You are damaging yourself if you go less than 3 day. I promise you. Even a daily chart will destroy you. It will tear you up from inside. You will be so shaken out. There'll be this red engulfing and then a green engulfing. It's just the pattern will disgust you, friends. In the land of weekly candles, trust me, it's warm, friendship. Everybody's got a straight back. We're all eating grapes. And yes, the cups of water are very, very cold, okay? When you put it on a weekly chart, you just summarize all your pain in this little color. And what I want to know is, where would we maybe launch to if we had a Bitcoin halvening run? So the Bitcoin halvening is going to be around here, okay? Bitcoin halvening is going to be around here, you know? So maybe we can have the BlackRock ETF run. Maybe we go, woohoo, right? But I want to know, how far is the woohoo part? How much do we pump? Well, if we go back to the Hex chart, this is where a lot of people... I'm here to temper your expectations. That's why I keep telling you time and time again, and I have to remind you, all of this was already factored in. This is why I keep telling you, keep DCA buying. That's what I'm doing. I am continuously to buy. I'm scavenging any single breadcrumb money I can get because I've seen people do this. What people have done is they've gone to the very, very bottom of Hex when there's like $100 of volume here, and they've measured it to the first wave up to the top, and they've gone, whoa, Hex did a 118x. That's what they think. And I'm here to tell you that is incorrect. So please temper your expectations down. It did not give you that 118x, okay? If you even just go down from this weighted average line, and this is a conservative one, mind you, to the top is about a 5x, okay? It is about a 5x. And it was moving in line. Ethereum had a pump as well, okay? So this was after the zombie virus. So that was about a 5x, friends, 400%. So if you just go to Pulse, okay, this is what everybody's thinking. Everybody thought, like not everybody, a lot of people thought we were generally going to get a like 100x, like up here, no, up here. Like, whoa, everybody thought we're going to land up here in the next 12 months. I hope we do. Man, I hope we do. But what if we don't? If we don't land up there, if it repeats the formula where we kind of return to everybody's price and we pump up a little bit higher by 4 or 5x, then who's going to win? It's the person who decided to believe more in the system and buy even more. That's the person who wins, okay? So if you are dreaming of big targets, keep dreaming. We all dream of big targets. The market doesn't care about me or you. It just cares about where it stops. Eventually, we run out of buyers, okay? And that's how you have to approach this game. Puppet Master, Cosmos, God, the aliens, whoever's in control. It's wherever it stops and how far this can go. So you can already see people who keep increasing their position, they get rewarded. Unfortunately, a lot of people I know went way too hard 2 years ago. They couldn't have possibly imagined they'd still be down 70% in PulseX. I feel your pain. I know exactly the pain you're talking about, and that's okay. I want you to know that there are yield farm programs for you to participate in. And yes, unfortunately, yes, it does suck that the EHEX farm got rugged. They got pulled off, right? It got pulled off. And it also sucks that, yes, the yields are dropping tremendously. PulseX Pulse yield down to 22%. It does happen, friends. But at the end of the day, what can we do? Okay, honestly, you got to think to yourself, these are the cards we are dealt. When we sacrificed, we did not know Fed was going to raise rates by 5%. We knew a bear market was eventually going to come somewhere down the line. We just didn't know it was going to be by the Fed directly crushing crypto with huge interest rates, because that would directly compete with the yields offered by crypto. We also didn't know that FTX was going to be a Ponzi. So this is super important because here's the thing, man. Let me take you back here. When we sacrificed, it was here and here. Okay, here and here. I just sacrificed. So PulseX, that's when we sacrificed. Now, there was a 50-50 chance. What type of bear market would we get? Would we get the bear market where Bitcoin recovers super quick? You know, if we got this bear market, Bitcoin would be $47,000. Okay, Bitcoin would be all the way up here. We did not get that. We got the previous bear market to that. We got the Mt. Gox Ponzi cycle bear market, where by this amount of time, Bitcoin was around here, 60% off the top. Do you want to know what 60% is, friends? It's exactly where we are today. It's about $31,000. So you might ask, why is that relevant to us and the launch? Well, I would imagine in my mind, and we never know this, but I think if Bitcoin was $47,000 when PulseChain launched, I think we would be 10x higher. I think we would have gapped up. We could have easily gone like 7, 8, 9, 10x higher within that mania, and then we would have done the rinsing for 4 to 5 months. That's just what I guess. But we didn't know that was going to happen because you're just looking at through the benefit of hindsight. You did not know when we were going to launch PulseChain. You did not know how much Richard was going to time it. You didn't know where Bitcoin was going to land. Was it going to be at 10K? Was it going to recover? We did not know that. You just have to play the cards that you're dealt. So when you're looking at this launch, I'm here to think about where would the first big wave come, right? And you have to be really honest with yourself. Where do you think we are? Obviously, the higher the price, it's worse for your entry. So this is the HEX launch. So even if I did the bottom of this like weighted average zone, we still went up like a 5 to 6x from that price. Now, I'm throwing these numbers out here because I want it to be 10x, okay? This is what I really, really, really want. I want it to be 10x from day one sacrifice. Trust me, I want it to be 10x. I want it to be 20x. I want to be super high. But what happens if it's exactly where we kind of guessed? Like maybe it's up here. Maybe it's a 5x, right? What happens there? Because at the end of the day, Richard will still brag and do the marketing the same way. So PulseX hit minus 93% from its day one sack. So you know what? If we went to a 10x from day one sack, or even a 5x from here, right? The chart that he will be posting on social media is going to be 5 times the extra 14x people get because of the minus 93% print. So 5 times 14, they'll be up 70x. So I'm here to prepare you for this just in case it happens. If you want to know exactly what I'm talking about, you see PulseX went here, minus 93%. If you measure up here all the way to the top, if you measure up here and you do a 70x, friends, you have about here, this would equal to about 5 to 10x from our day one sacrifice. And I'm here to just help groom you, to help prepare you. If you see that, it's okay. This is all part of the plan. I factored this into. You know, a lot of people get really tilted for some reason when they see that, because let me tell you something, friends. In markets, we all know who loses, okay? It's a person who doesn't sell the top, right? It's a person who sells the bottom, who gets out. But how do you feel right now? You feel like, man, I really wish I sold the 2021 top, okay? So what happens is, after a top is formed, so if you go back, right, let's say it's a hex here for any single chart, okay, let's put a regular chart. So when a top is formed and we start going down to now here, the death zone, down in this zone, influencers and people come out because they are projecting, because most of them are losers themselves and they're subhuman filth and they're not useful to us. But what they do is they come and they point fingers at everybody and they will try to rub it in everyone's faces. And they will always say the same thing. It probably rings a bell. They'll say, you are greedy. You should have taken profit up here. That's what they'll say. They'll say every time, you are an idiot. Why didn't you take profit? People were up 100x, 500x, 50,000x. That's what they keep saying. You know, it doesn't even matter what the coin is. People will still say you should have gotten out, even if it was 5x. I promise you. People say you are so greedy. People were up 500% and you didn't even get out. So whether the number is 5x, 50, 100, 1,000x, it doesn't matter. They say the same thing every time. When it comes down, they all come down at the bottom. And this is what makes people capitulate. This is how I know this comes. That's why I wait for them. And that's why we keep receipts. So when we go up in the future, right, praying that we go up, these people are going to cop it super hard, okay, because they're non-believers and they're trash. So all these people who come, they try to break the spirit of the bulls. That's what they try to do. But at the end of the day, all that matters is, are you holding or not? Because it's a public market. If it's too much, the door is there and you can get out. Now, very interesting to talk about doors, because we now see from this launch, Richard does this formula. This is why I was speaking about a MetaMask type of wallet sacrifice. It's interesting to think about because he has now done this 3 times. He has done a launch where he opens the door at the bottom. He does a very aggressive trial by fire type of initiation. He doesn't want people to get out near everyone's average liquidity. He wants people to pay an enormous cost to get out, minus 98%. So it's easier to go up later on. This is also what I would describe as a form of leverage. It's leverage without a liquidation. It's a very unique form of leverage. And leverage is, of course, on the way down it's brutal because the weak hands get out. But on the way up, it's great because, you know, you don't have not a collateral position or anything. It's just that you've rinsed so many weak hands, right? Because you've gone down minus 98%. Quite possibly there's nobody left to rinse, right? If something goes down minus 98% and people are still in, well, that tells you everything about them. It means they're just willing to hold for a certain amount of time. They're in hold to the target, okay? And so when we come to the topic of PulseX, and where we're going to land, truthfully, we don't know. You never really know, friends. All you can do is make your checklist. Like 1, has it been enough time? 2, have we rinsed weak hands? That's it. 3, am I still holding? Okay, that's it. I promise you, you can't do anything else. That's it. Has it been enough time? Well, we are now in the window of day 30 to day 60. That's that bracket here. I'm going to show you right now. If we go down here, you can see with Hex, right? We have had, this is not the absolute full chart. There was like 2 weeks or 1 week before. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles. Have a look at Pulse, for example. It's the same thing. We've had entry candle, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We are now on the 6th candle. And here is PulseX. This is why I'm going to look at weeks. This is why I really try to help you to see that weekly candles is where the friendship and the kindness is. That's where the waters are warm, friends. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles weekly. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Did you see here? Look at this. By the 6th week, now we were starting to recover. But of course, I mean, it looks nice because you know what comes up next. But really, when you sink into it, it's not super amazing. There is still a bit of a recovery. And then we go sideways. This was actually the zombie virus, mind you. All right, right here. And then there was a pump to the heavens, okay? But once again, I want to temper your expectations, please, because this pump to the heavens, if you notice, goes through the average weighted price for the Hex ICO participants. So their average weighted price was not at the bottom. They had to watch it come and then zip through it. And of course, like I said, How much do you zip through? You get like a 5.5x. All right. So now this isn't the full story because that is the first Bitcoin halving run. Of course, by the time we get to the very, very, very top of Hex, from here is 400, and that's 450x. Okay, basically, right, 450x. Okay, so yeah, that's a great number. That's a great number, and this number can be improved because you got 30% extra yield here on the big payday, and the short-term yield for Hex, the like non-risky duration short-term yield, that was giving a huge amount anyway. So it could have easily just become like 800x. All right, so that is huge. Now, you might say, okay, hey, if 800x came, if you could get a 400 to 800x, then, write this down here, 400x to 800x, then surely PulseChain, PulseX, surely they can do it too. And I will say a double thumbs up to you. I want to believe in that too, and I hope it happens. I'm just going to, once again, show you what happens in crypto. Now, I don't make the rules. This is just what happens. What I've noticed is, see, this is the total crypto market cap. In 2015, from the low to the top, the industry grew 367x. But by the next cycle, it divided by 10. You only got a 32x growth. There's a big diminished gain. So where am I going with this? Well, I want to believe that from our day one sacrifice, I want to believe we get a 400 to 800x. And I will always have hope for that. And I will never say never, of course, because anything can happen. However, looking at everything in crypto that we've ever seen, based off diminishing gains, based off the fact that we have a higher user base growth, right, than Hex, for example, PulseX, there were more people starting, and there's diminishing gains, coupled with the fact that Bitcoin might be a very naughty little boy and scam us at $80,000, I am leaning more towards that this 400 to 800x needs to be divided by 10, right? So you get 40 to 80x. Surprise, surprise, someone out here made a video for you. PulseX 49x, my very first video. My videos are around these numbers. This is why I kept telling people, dude, 50 times your money is huge. I don't know what you're talking about. Like 50 times your money is enormous, friends. If you invested half a year of your income into something that gave you 50x, you get 25 years return. What about if you only did 3 months of income? That's still huge, man. You can get like 6 to 8 years of income back from just 3 months. That's fantastic, okay? So don't let anybody tell you that your targets aren't big enough and it's not succeeding. This is a success, man. If this does a 50x, I'm telling you right now, it is a success. And I want to let you know too, on PulseX, if you go to the very bottom where Richard Hart started measuring, as I predicted he would, if you go to 70x to the top, okay, if you go to 70x from the top, I actually have it marked here. You see this? What do I have right under it, friends? It's actually a 1000x from the low. So I even have here predicted. I'm like, okay, well, if everything lines up and all the diminishing gains and everything lands around here, it's still, everybody kind of wins. People who are satisfied win. People who hold win. Richard Hart gets to win because he will just measure from the bottom and he'll say, we did 1000x, man. Of course, unfortunately, most people will say that is lying because you weren't able to buy down there and it was like a dodgy scam, etc. People are going to say that. But I want to let you know that that doesn't even matter. All that matters is where you are long from. That's it. All that matters is where you are long from and could you increase your position size? Because this is a game of markets at the end of the day. And I'd like to add to, I get asked a lot of the times, why don't you just buy another coin? Go participate in something else. So here I have the Hex ICO, the adoption amplifier phase. You have the weighted average minting price, right? I was being a bit conservative in how I did it just to show you what's possible. People ask all the time, just go do something else. Well, here is the issue with that. Firstly, I have. And secondly, let me tell you, so many coins, right? Me and you are outsiders. we can't get in. We can't even remotely get in. There is not enough risk in them. And you now have the SEC trying to target everything. BNB, goodbye. SEC, XRP damage, fourth cycle. Cardano, SEC. Solana, SEC. Litecoin's a poopy anyway. Tron. Polkadot is not. But you have Matic, SEC. Avalanche. You have so many of these. Now, Avalanche isn't SEC targeted, but it's all the same field. You can go through so many, friends. Cosmos, SEC. ICP, SEC, SEC. Okay? Craptos is crap. A lot of these problems come from the fact that we don't even get the opportunity. So if you watch my videos, and I do make them for you, thank you very much, friends. Thank you for liking, subscribing, press the voting button and all. I will tell you time and time again to, one, keep your posture straight, keep your fluffy slippers on, but I also tell you something else. I tell you this time and time again. Without any risk, we get no reward. So there are people right now, they are saying, excuse me, Richard Hart's not streaming, and the liquidity is bad, and people are leaving and not streaming. On one hand, it upsets me. On the other hand, I'm like, yes, okay, this is great. This is great. Because if you believe these things can be switched on again, then the price will eventually recover and will go up and will continue growing. Okay? This is a unique edge. It does not come often in markets. This is the highest rewards. Okay? There is nothing stopping me, man. Let's go buy Bitcoin, friends, and let's sell for a 2x. Yay, it's 30K. All right? It's going to stop at 60 to 70, 80 anyway. How much are you going to get from that? A nice little 2 to 3x? Same as Ethereum. Everyone is convinced it's going above 10,000. What if they don't? So this is just a risk curve. A risk curve is in every single market, friends. If you want higher reward, you got to take on more risk. So who wins? It's the person who tries to investigate the risk. This is why I am here. I mean, hey, you found my channel. I've done the research here for you. I'm in the telegrams. I see capitulation. I can even tell you what everybody considers a risk right now is not really a risk. Ricardo himself has done the formula again. You can then cross off this big risk factor for me. This is why I'm like, hey, I'm sharing it with you. Like, everybody thinks he's gone forever. That Ricardo's AI, that it's been rugged and everything's bad. And see, it's okay to have that opinion. And there is a chance you're right. But here I am just telling you, hey, there's also a chance that everything has been done before and it might be playing out right now. Okay. So with that, I'm also saying, yes, that's a good side, but also you got to temper your expectations. Can you get another job? Can you increase your hours, get a pay rise? Can you sell a second or third car? Do you have any fluffy slippers to sell, garage sale, whatever it is, friends? Because at the end of the day, our time is very limited. And once we clear this zone, everybody's going to be coming back. All right. So that's why I started this video, to let you know, to think about a PulseChain sacrifice. We went through all the details. The market has now learned this. Okay. We have now finished what I think is the final sacrifice phase. He's done this formula too many times. Okay. But what I still really, really love is no one believes the next part of the formula is coming. And this might be the very edge we need to continue on our path of friendship. Tell mum and dad, it's all going to plan. I'm still long and I'm still strong. Like, subscribe, press the bell button and all. I'm going to catch you in the next one.